Hello, right, today it is signature day. I said in my last video that I was going to do sort of like the hidden signatures. I'd done them I think on my second or third journal that I'd done many moons ago, but I've never actually done it on video. So I'll warn you now, get a cup of tea or get a cup of coffee or something stronger. It could be a long video. Because it is a kind of a longish process. I've already done one this morning just to make sure everything was going to go okay, and it's in, as you can see. This will be all covered up, but obviously we'll talk about that later. And I've gone for the rustic, as I said I was going to do, so I'm kind of pleased how it's looked. You know, it's different. Right, let's crack on. So I'm going to do the signature for this journal. I'm only going to do one signature, well, one journal with 4 signatures, because the video will be till like midnight. So what I've done, I know that the spine is 4 centimetres, so I always sort of go extra, because obviously you've got to take in the bit at the side and for in where it folds, if you get what I mean. So all I've got is just a piece of linen fabric, the same as what I've actually used for the journal itself. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a biggish bit, not too big, but just a biggish bit. So I've got enough room to work with. Okay, so I'll put that one to the side. Right, now this is where it gets a little bit interesting. I'm sure, you know, other people have sort of done an easy way, but this is sort of my way of doing it, and that's what I want to show you. All I measure is I want 15 centimetres. Get my scissors out of the way. I want 15 centimetres, so I'm just going to use one of these fabric pens, what they're called, friction or something like that. You see, they actually go when you add heat to them, so perfect for this. But I'm not too worried, because this is going to go on the, I'm going to flip this over so it'll be on the inside. So all I do is just sort of bring it into the middle roughly, and then just do a dot there and a dot there. This pink you definitely could see, that's for sure. And roughly that same again. If I go quiet, it's because I'm concentrating, so make the most of this one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run a line across that, and the same here. Oops. Just give me the top and the bottom. Right. The width of the spine itself, I'm actually going to cut it at 6.5 centimetres. I really should have done a bit of a template for this one, but it was at 6.5. That's to give roughly about ½ centimetre each side, maybe a bit more, something like, you know, it depends. You can do it a lot bigger. It really doesn't matter. Right, so I need, actually I could just leave that at 7, because that's the lines there. So if I do 7, that's fine. And then we do about 7 again. And then, yeah, you can see. Sorry if you can't, but hopefully I've got the camera right. And then I just draw a line, just so when I cut it out, because I will cut this bit out. And just do the same. And the good thing about these pens, obviously you can see, so I basically drew a rectangle. That's what I've done at the minute. Right, I'm just going to cut this out. I didn't want to do anything off camera because I wanted to show you the whole process. So like I said, it's going to be a long one, because I'll stitch the signatures into the journal as well. Well, onto the fabric, and then I'll stick it in the journal. So obviously, you know, speed bits up if you want to. Right. Oops. It don't matter if you go off a little bit, because like I said, excuse me, the edge inside is going to get covered anyway with another bit of paper of some sort. I've not decided what I'm putting in yet, so I'm not too bothered. I've not really thought about it too much. Right, now all I do is I fold the fabric. I mean, you can iron this, but usually you can just sort of fold it just to give you sort of a rough guide of where the middle is going to be. Okay, now I don't make it as perfect, you know, I just sort of give it a rough guide. Okay, now I know that my, like I say, my spine is going to be well, not going to be, it is 4 centimetres. So what I do, from the centre line, I put my ruler at 2 centimetres. Now if I'll just mark the middle so you can see where it is. Okay. Now, like I said, I'm going to do 2 centimetres. This way, I know that I can come in about half a centimetre. That's how I usually start it. So I've got 4 signatures, so I'll put a mark there, 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there. So there's my foot. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Sorry, I'd never thought if you can't see this. That's a little bit better. Right, as I've just marked it, if you can see. So that's the middle of the fabric, just so that you can see. And I've put the 2 centimetres at the middle, and then I've marked, oops, I've marked 1 there, which is half centimetre, then a centimetre, a centimetre, and a centimetre, and it's giving me half a centimetre each side, so that the signatures are not on the fold. So I hope that kind of makes sense. So all I do then is I just, let me zoom out a little bit again. Oh, wrong way. Right. Actually what I'll do, because it is kind of hard to see on this, yeah, I've done it on the chocolate linen. What is it? It's a brown chocolate linen, and it was actually easy to see the pink pen and the crease marks, believe it or not. It's kind of ironic. These lines might not be where I need to put the holes. That's fine. These are just guidelines, so I know that that's where each of the signatures will line up. I roughly gauge about where the middle is, and I do it again. And then oops, nearly missed that one. Okay, so that technically is your signature marked out on your fabric. So now what I do is I turn it that way. Now I've already done a template that's going to be the size of my signature itself. So what I've done, because obviously I didn't want to wreck my signatures in case the holes were wrong, I just get a piece of the tea dye paper, or piece of paper, this was just at hand, and I just worked out roughly where it would be. Now if anybody's watched my other videos, you'll know that I've got this, but the holes, because of the size of the journal, are not quite in the right place for where I need them. So what I've done, if I put the top back on, I'll turn it around, I've just got my paper, and I just went from the middle and I just roughly gauged where I would want the holes. And because it's in the middle, I won't know if I'm putting the paper centre in the middle unless I mark it all out. So I thought, I don't want to do that. It's too much faff for me. So all I done was just cut a piece of card, the size that I actually need it, and then I put the holes in as I needed them, because obviously the card was the length of the punch thing, you know, this. So I popped that in like that, and obviously, you know, it was A4 size, so it was down here. Popped it in, and then I put the holes where I needed it. So that's how I got that. It can be very confusing. I hope I hope you're keeping up with me here. So now all I do, I get my fabric, and I also get my little piercing mat, pop the fabric on. Now I just line, well, I roughly gauge, so that was, we do it that way around. I put just down slightly, so if the fabric's just a little bit bigger than this, I just make sure that it's roughly about in the middle of this, and then I can follow it through them. So if I line those up, as you can see, I've got my marks there. So if I just put a little mark on my card, so that's where one hole is, that's the other, and then the other, like that. Okay, get my brodger or poke tool, whatever you want to call it, and then I just basically put holes where these go, and then I move it down to the next line. I hope I've not got my head in the way. I just need to make sure I've lined this up, and then again. The only thing, if you do use sort of like it's not a loose weave fabric, but with linen, a lot of linens, it's quite, you can put a hole in it and basically the hole just covers itself back up again. So don't worry about that, because what we'll do is I'll pierce the hole again and shove the dowel, brodger, whatever you want to call it, through a bit more, and the hole will stay. Okay, and then the last one. Okay, so yeah, that was the top, so I'm going to just put a T there so I know. Right, as you can see, you can't really see the holes very well. So what I'm going to just do is, like I say, pop that through. It just makes them a little bit bigger, and they won't seal up. I always find that the linen is quite a magic fabric. Calico's not too bad, but I haven't got any. I've got to get some. Because I used it all on some cards that I've done for my mum the other day. So I need to get some of that. There's so many different sorts though, and I don't know what weight it was, because that's how it kind of goes. You've got the light, medium. Oh, it wasn't heavy, and it wasn't really light. It was like in between, but I can't seem to find any. But I will have another look. Right, so that is now how it is. So we are going to turn it over that way, and you're not going to see anything, because that is all going to be hidden. Okay, and if there is any pink still showing through, don't worry, because we'll get the heat gun on it. And actually, yeah, I could do that now. I just need to unplug. I've got that many plugs. Where's my other plug? I only need it for a few seconds. Okay. Flip that over. That will do. That will be fine. Okay. Right, I know that was that way. So that's the top. Right, now, I did try and save a little bit of time because I've marked all my signatures. Let me zoom you back out again, because you're not going to see much otherwise. Where I've got my camera now, when I zoom in, you don't see a lot. Okay, I've already marked my signatures. Just save a little bit of time for piercing hole, because you've seen how I do the holes in them. I just need to make sure which way round I've actually scored. That should be that way, to make sure that I'm putting that in the right way. Now, What I did do on my other one, and it's because I never thought about it, I always find that when I'm stitching a signature in, whether it be this way or whether it be going straight through the board, if you start from the last signature and put that in first, you have sort of more control over putting the other signatures in, because obviously you've not got them leaning on you, falling about. That's just how I always sort of remember, you know, sort of think about doing it. But if you find it easier doing it the other way, then obviously by all means. That's just my opinion on that. Right, I had a needle somewhere. So I just get me thread. Oh, come on. Okay. Now the same as with any other, put it back on that. Same with any other journal, or should I say any other signature, when you're putting things in. So start from the middle. The only thing is, this is going to be a lot floppier. And it does sometimes get a little bit annoying because you think, oh, I've not pulled that tight enough, or, you know, whatever. But you'll be fine. So, oh, sorry, I've got to get a bit closer. Right. So in the middle, and then just put that into the end hole, and then into the card there. Give it a bit of a wiggle about. Sometimes it is just a little bit tight to get in. Okay, pull that. The other thing to watch as well, when you go through the middle hole, when you are coming through the fabric, that you don't actually miss your hole. It is a little bit tricky sometimes, but I always find if you go through the card first or paper first, and then, I don't know if you can see, I'm just trying to, oh, come out, right, that's it. Hope you see it. It's a little bit on the tricky side, like I said. Okay, and then into the end. Once you've done the first one, it's not too bad. Okay, so don't worry if the fabric does move, because that's just how it is. Okay, just pull that tight like you do with your other journals or with your other things. See that one, that has just gone through. I'm wondering if I just snip that a little bit. It's just caught just a little bit. That's it. That's fine. Okay. And then you can just turn it on. Just make sure that's not, because I've not put that underneath yet. Where's my needle? Grabbing fresh air. Okay, just pop that underneath as you do the other times. Okay. And then just pull it. One thing about doing it this way as well, your signatures will go flat when you're actually doing them, which is brilliant. Because I've found that when you're doing it in a journal, when it's, you know, the paper, and it just catches just like any other. Okay, so we'll get on and do the rest. Quickly put a, shall double knot that. Okay, that's the first one. Right, I'm just going to leave it with the clip on it, just to keep the things in place. So we'll move on to the next one. I always sort of overestimate, I've lost my needle, or always overestimate the thread. I never measure it. I know a lot of people, I used to sort of, you know, do this and this, but I'd done it once and I actually misjudged it. I thought I'd left enough, but I think I'd actually pulled it as I'd done it, so it didn't give me enough. So yeah, I was a little bit annoyed about it, because I'd had a problem with this one particular signature. It just wouldn't go, you couldn't get the needle through, and I think you just have days like that when you're doing them. Well, I do anyway. So, right, let's get me in the middle. And let's get the... Sorry, I keep forgetting that I've got to go forward a little bit on this. I'm sorry. I hope you're seeing everything. Okay, and then just pop that through. It is a bit fiddler, but you know, it's worth it in the end. It's definitely... You know, a bit of time and patience is all you need. She says. I'm usually the one that flies off the handle if something doesn't work. I don't have a lot of patience with things. I used to have patience, but now, yeah, it's not me. It's not how I usually am. So. Right, pull that. Put that underneath. I love this thread, but one thing I always have to watch is when I pull it, I don't actually pull it too tight to bust it, because I've done that loads and loads of times. And it's quite frustrating, because if you've just been fighting with a signature and you have had, I don't know, knots in the thread, or, you know, something stupid like that, because it's usually those sort of things that end up causing problems. And then to find out that you've just pulled the thread and it has just snapped on you. That is so frustrating. Okay, so not looking too bad up to now. Right, cotton. No, nearly used the wrong scissors then. I nearly used my fabric scissors. No. Can't do that. Although I do use my other scissors for cutting fabric, but that's different. Because these scissors I've had, as I said in my last video, I've had them for about 15 years, so, and I've not had any problems with them actually. Mum had scissors exactly the same sort. It was when we had our sewing business, and we'd done a lot of quilts and, you know, that sort of thing, you know, the usual home, soft furnishings. And she got some scissors exactly the same as mine, bought them at exactly the same time, and within about 2 years they just went blunt. We sharpened them up, but they just never seemed to be the same again, so I'm not quite sure what happened. And she was using them for the same, she was using them for the same sort of thing as me. So yeah, that didn't really bode very well. So, and they weren't sort of cheap to buy either, which I think is really annoying. But I don't usually. What are we doing? Next one. I don't usually, or we don't usually go for expensive scissors anyway. I know some of the like dressmaking scissors and that sort of thing can be quite expensive, but I usually go cheapest and best, and they work just as well. Come on. See, this one's just being a bit of a pain in the bum now. Oh no, I missed it. Just it came through and then popped out again. That's not what you want to happen. Okay. So you get all the all the good and bad in this video, that's for sure. Come on. That's what I think that's partly why I wasn't sure whether to do the video or not, and I thought, well, I will, because if nobody's ever done a signature like this, because it's nice to think if I've been able to help somebody do, you know, something new. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible, only I can't get this through this hole. Come on. Why are you not going through? There you go. Yeah, I'm trying to make it sort of as simple as possible for you. I know you can see what I'm doing. Sorry, I'm trying to concentrate on getting this needle through this hole. Just not want to know. Okay. We are getting there. Right. That's it. That's what I said. Sometimes it's just so fiddly, but you just have to persevere. It's all you can do. Okay. Get in the middle. I think it's because I never made the hole big enough. Because I used my hole guide thingamabob. What's it thing? You know, that thing that I showed you. This thing. Because I used that originally to do the holes, but the holes weren't always where the holes were, so it was like hitting in between. And I think what I should have done, hindsight's a wonderful thing now, I should have actually took my Roger Bradle, whatever you want to call it, and made the holes bigger like I did with the fabric, but I didn't. And now now I'm kind of having the problem with it. Okay, just need to get this tight. Oh, I've got a frog in my throat today. Yeah, that's a really weird saying. Why on earth would you want a frog in your throat? I don't know where that saying came from. I don't think I really want to know. Oh dear. It's funny though, some of the sayings. Because you think, what were they thinking? I mean, some of them are really good. You know, you think, oh yeah, now I know why you say that. But other ones are like, really? Didn't know that. Turn my rings. Okay. Hopefully this will look good when it's done. I'm hoping. Fingers crossed. You see why I'm not going to do the other one on the video, can't you? I don't even know how long we've gone. But thank you if you've stuck with me. It's appreciated. Let's just put a hole back in that one. And a big thank you if you're new. And hello. Lovely to have you. It's nice to have new friends. 'Cause that's what you are. You're all new friends. Okay. Right, last one. We're taking bets on how easy this is going to be. So I'm going to just do this, make it a little bit bigger. Hopefully I won't have too many problems with it. This is what I should have done with the other ones. But like I say, hindsight's a wonderful thing, as they say. Oh, hiccups. No, don't start getting hiccups. That's going to be a whole different entertainment channel, that will. Okay, let's put the needle through. Let's do this. And through we go. And through that one, and through that one. Come on. she says. Told you the last one would be fiddly, didn't I? I don't know why you're not level. Why have you not levelled up? There we go. You can see why I don't do these sort of signatures too often, don't you? I always find that these ones are a little bit tricky. I think it's because you've got no stability. It's, you know, it's flopping about and, you know, that sort of thing. But they do look nice when you've done them. Because obviously I haven't got to worry about trying to cover the cotton on the inside, or on the outside, or making sure that it's in its place. Well, obviously it's got to be in its place, but you know what I mean. It doesn't look odd. Because if I use this kind of colour on the brown one, it'd stick out tremendously, and I don't really want, you know, I didn't really want that. Just check. Yep. It's fine. Because I'm not putting a load of book pages or anything like that in the journal, because I'm going to do sort of quite a few tags and journaling cards and, you know, that sort of thing. There is a few book pages, don't get me wrong, but yeah. Right, that is now our signatures. Okay. Just want to make sure that should... That's a little bit puckered there, I don't know why. It should be okay. Could be that it just moves. Hopefully when it goes into the journal itself. Yeah, that should be okay. I think I've just... Let's try it that way around. Yeah, it's just a little bit lower than... I don't know why. I followed... It should, I mean, it's okay. That's why. That's, yeah, because I wanted it just about the same. It's because the... it's because these have got hooked up. Oh dear. Okay. Right. Now, we'll get this... yeah, the journal in. The board itself. Right, now all I do is I get my tacky glue. I find that this works just as well. And I get... I'm just wondering if I should take them off actually. Yeah, I think I'm going to, because I didn't keep them on the other one. And it won't hold it in place if I don't do it, you know, if I don't do it. Okay, let's try it that way around. That's better. Right, all I do, I will do this like I did on the other one though. I put one big one on because I just need it to hold everything in place for a start. So just pop that on. It's just so I can sort of go like that with it. Right, so we've got our signatures now. And as you can see, are you still zoomed in a little bit? You just look, yeah, I thought you were. There you go. Right. Get your glue. You can use whatever glue you wish. It really, really doesn't matter. And all I do is I just pop it on like this. And then we're going to spread it. And all I use is, you know, I know they have them like in schools and that sort of thing. I just use that. And I literally just sort of spread it roughly across. I mean, you can use whatever you wish. It really, really doesn't matter. And I always try and get to the ends as best I can. I don't want that flapping down. I see it. Yeah, it's just come down a little bit, but I really am not too bothered about that. That's fine, because as long as the signature is in, that's all my concern is. Okay. I think I put a bit too much on here actually. I can scrape a bit off. Pop that on there. Make sure that you've kind of got it down a little bit on the side, because obviously that will go into the whatchamacallit, like the fold of the journal. Okay, right. Now I'm just going to stand up for this bit because I want to make sure that I've kind of roughly got it roughly in the middle. So if I put my head in the way, I'm sorry. Hopefully I can get it. I think it's about there. Sorry, if, like I say, if my head's in the way, I'm sorry, I just need to make sure that that's roughly about where it needs to be. And I do believe it is. Okay. Now, this comes the interesting bit, because I've got to make sure, and take that off, I've got to make sure that this goes flat in between. So I get my bone folder and I just press it down for a start, and then I get the sort of trying to keep it together, but I need the space in between, if you know what I mean. I'll show you properly in a sec what I'm doing, but I just need to keep it flat while I just press down the bits that I need to. Okay, and I get the one that's got a bit of a point on it. I definitely need to look for a better one that's got more of a point. Bone folders don't really have many points. Okay, and I just press that down. Yeah, you can see. I'm going to say I'm going through all this and I hope you can see. Okay, just flatten it out just a little bit, but we'll sort that in a sec. That's sort of minor detail for the rest of the stuff at the minute. Okay, and then I'll let one sort of flop down a little bit so I can get in better. This one in. And I'm not worried about if there's glue seeping. That does not bother me at all, because it's in between the signatures anyway. If it seeps at the bottom, then obviously we don't really want that. But just wipe it with your finger. Just kitchen roll. And if the pens showed through, do not worry, because we can I can use the heat gun on that. Once I've pressed this down, I'll get the heat gun again and we can do it. It's because I didn't do it a great deal. I didn't sort of give it a full blast. Okay, just making sure that that is all flat. starting out, it's looking pretty good. Okay. I did put quite a bit of glue on actually, so that will, it will dry hard, which is perfect because the signature's definitely not going to go anywhere with that. I'm just wondering if I could put that in. Yeah, I think that's about the right place. It's a handmade journal. I mean, I always say that nothing is ever going to be perfect, and that's fine with me. Right, now, these front bits here, all I do, obviously some bits are already stuck, but all I do is I just get the glue and I put it on the fabric itself. Don't put it on the card, because obviously if you put it in the on the card you might get it in the wrong place. But there'll be pockets at the front and the back anyway, so you won't really see this too much. Let's run some glue. If you do get any on the card, don't worry, because like I said, there's going to be a pocket on this anyway. Or obviously if you're not going to put a pocket on, then you know you've got to be careful how you do it. Why are you wiping it with your finger when you know that don't work? Oh, I've got bits of cotton everywhere now. Okay. Just run that down. Just sort of keep. You don't want to do it too much, because I have done it before and it just goes wrong then, because the fabric starts moving and it starts creasing. So you sort of have to get to the point where you think, right, that's, you know, enough's enough. So all I'm going to do then is just, you literally just fold your book, and if you can see, it's all got a little bit of seepage there. That's fine. We just get the kitchen towel or whatever you want to use and just press them bits down. It does look a little bit messy for a start, but once the glue's dry, what we'll do, get me heat gun again. What's that one? Ooh. And get where was the other one? Just in case there's any bits on there. Don't worry if I was getting a little bit worried then, because I was heating this but the pen was still there. But if it's on wet glue, the glue needs to dry first before the pen disappears, so don't worry, it went. Let's try. I think it's just a bit just that. Right, let's just press these little bits down. With giving it a blast with a heat gun, actually it's kind of helped it a little bit because it's dried it enough that I can just manipulate it just a little bit. Yeah, I'm really pleased with how this has turned out actually. You can see that that's already drying as well. Right, let's put some glue on the back here. I think that just needs trimming just a little bit. You're not going to see this bit anyway because, like I say, it's apart from the edge. So, just a little bit of it. Oh, having glue on the fingers. It's yeah, it's just having a little bit on the bottom where you'll see when the paper goes on anyway. Okay, and then just press that down. So just let the bone fold up. This is more just to hold it in place so that nothing catches it. So usually, when on the other ones I've done, haven't covered these bits, but because obviously it was fabric, I wanted to make sure that the fabric was in, you know, I know I used the double-sided tape, but I wanted to make sure everything was sort of in its place. And I sort of, you know, oh no, I've done it wrong, and then I thought, no, you've not, because that's sort of how I wanted it to go. Because I wanted to put pockets in anyway, so it's kind of helped with that. Let's just turn that over. Just need to trim that bit there. I can just get it up. Right. That doesn't want to come off. That's fine. Let's just get the heat gun again. Get little bits. Got to watch that I don't lift my mat again. I think we're okay. Just make sure there's no other bits. But this is exactly what I would do even if I wasn't sort of showing you. Yeah, I might have to stop using the heat gun. I think my mat's on the move. I love these mats, but I wish they'd just make them heat proof. Oh, my pockets are everywhere. Oh dear, I had a pile of the pockets. So I've been preparing, I've got all my pockets ready. Sort of sitting there last night, watching film, inking all the pockets up as you do. You never sort of, well, I never sort of switch off. I don't know why, I can't sit and do nothing, that's the problem. I have to be doing something. I get itchy fingers, I do. I can't rest. Somebody says to me, oh, sit down and rest. Nope. I could be falling off my feet, literally, and I'd be like, no, it's fine, I'll do this, I'll do this. Right, that, I do believe, is that. Don't worry about the joy of linen, it frays. So, that's, apart from it just drying now, but that's your journal. that's basically how your journal is going to look with your signature. And that's the hidden signature. So now, what I would do, obviously, you know, I'm not going to do it because I haven't chose what I'm actually doing yet. But say, for instance, if you got a piece of card or whatever, that would just go up to the edge, cover it like that, and then that would be your journal cover done. I mean, I might put some trim there. I don't know yet. I've not sort of looked at what I'm doing, but that's how you do, well, how I do anyway, a fabric signature. So I hope you kind of enjoyed it. I hope it wasn't too long for you and too boring. And we didn't really have too many problems, which I'm kind of glad about. Because I know sometimes it can be a bit of a nightmare with things. But yeah, I've just got to do the other one. And then that's that. See, with this one, because I've used the same linen as that, it's kind of making it a little bit sort of thicker for when you fold it, but that's okay, it's no problem, it still works, and that's the main thing. So I do love how the paper looks. I think it looks really, really good. But yeah, so I am going to finish the video here, and like I said, I hope you enjoyed it. It was a bit different to what I usually do. And, you know, if you've got any questions or anything like that, just let me know, or say you shouldn't have done that, you should have done, you know, this way. It would have been easier for you. By all means, you know, I would love to know what anybody sort of thinks. So I will now carry on and do this one here. And I will be back at some point, I don't know when, possibly doing the ephemera, I'm not sure. You know me and my ephemera, it's a love-hate relationship. But yeah, other than that, I hope, like I say, I hope it sort of gave you a little bit of confidence that, you know, you can do this. But yeah, I'm going now. I'm going to shut up. Take care, and I will be back soon. So bye for now. Bye.